Hello everybody, this is Warren again from OddsNotifier. Today we will be looking at movement alerts. Just a quick overview of what everything means, what you are likely to see on your feeds, and basically just how you might use these alerts. So, typical alert will look like this. I'm on desktop, but it's probably more efficient on mobile. That's what I use, but for this demonstration we will be using desktop. So let's have a look at this Coventry one here, Ipswich. So what you will see is that you are in feed 1, so you will predetermine these feeds in the portal, and the information that you receive inside these feeds will be what you have set to receive. So this is my feed 1. This is what I class as my main leagues feed. So, yep, OddsNotifier feed 1. There's been a new odds update on Pinnacle. Pinnacle is my benchmark. Pinnacle is the book that I will reference. It is my quote-unquote short book. So the prices that I want to be notified about are from Pinnacle. So then you'll get the sport, the country, and the competition. The fixture underneath that, which is Ipswich versus Coventry in this example, the date and time, and here is what counts, the actual movement. So the arrow facing upwards will indicate that a price has drifted or increased, and the arrow facing downwards will indicate that the price has shortened. So in this example, we can see a set of numbers and then a set of numbers in brackets. So basically the numbers not in brackets are where the odds have moved to, and the odds in brackets are where the odds have moved from, or where they were prior to this money. So Ipswich's win odds have increased to 1.917 from 1.84. The draw odds have shortened to 3.90 from 3.99. We don't have movements on the draws. I don't anyway. And Coventry have shortened to 3.90 from 4.13. So the money here is on Coventry. And as a result of that money, underneath we will get our soft book odds. So this will be the book that we want to take bets at. So we are comparing this to this. And if we do that, we will get plus expected value of 3.98%. So at the moment, if we were to go on Bet365 and take Coventry to win at 4.20, when Pinnacle odds are at 3.90, we would be getting expected value of 3.98%. Now underneath that, you will see some buttons. So we've got mute. So here, if you are a bit tired of getting the same alert, you can click mute. So if I click mute, you can mute event. And then that will stop any alerts for this market on this game. We want to show updates. So you can disable league when you are on mute. If you are sick of one particular league, you can disable that league, even just temporarily, and you can go back. So let's go back to the buttons. You have got all lines. So this means if you was to look at this alert and think, that's a great alert, nice movement, nice EV. However, I would like to see what Coventry plus 0.5 are. So you can click all lines and that will bring up the spread. So Coventry plus 0.5 are 1.97. The limits are in brackets. The spread is in brackets. The spread defined inside these brackets is the spread for the home team. So this is Ipswich minus 0.5. So this will be Coventry plus 0.5. So the spread indicated in the bracket is always for the home team. So all these ones down the left-hand column are the spread for the home team. So draw no bet, minus 0.25, minus 0.75 on the home team. And on the opposite side, If the home line is minus 0.5, this away line is plus 0.5. And if this home line is minus 1.5, then this is the odds for the away team plus 1.5. And again, limits are indicated in the brackets. You can refresh this at any time to get up-to-date odds, and it will give you the real-time information. We also have, if we go back to that alert, we have the movements. So movements will tell us, well, let's open it. So if I click movements, we can see there's something happened down here. So movements. So what we've got is the information about the fixture, showing the last 9 movements for Moneyline. So as the alert was Moneyline, it will show us the movements for Moneyline. If this was a spread alert, it would show us the movements for spread. So we have got opening odds here in this section. So we have got it opened on the 26th of November at 241, nearly 242, at opening limits of €100. We've got the payout underneath, and then we've got the opening odds. And then everything underneath is a movement. So if you look down this left-hand side, that is the movement for Ipswich, that is the movement for the draw, and this down the right-hand column is the movement on Coventry. So as we can see, if we were summarising how this has moved since release, it's pretty much all been for Coventry. So maybe people feel like that price on Coventry was just way too high, and they are trying to manipulate it down to where they have it correct. But it opened at 4.98 at €225 limits. It was backed into 4.52. As you can see, the hit that it's gone to and from is in the brackets. Then it was hit at €450 limits, down again to 4.50. At the same limit, 4.28, 4.27, 4.25, 4.16, 4.13, and then 3.90. So there's a clear trend that people betting at Pinnacle don't feel that this opening price on Coventry is actually fair, and they are starting to push that down to where they believe it should be. So that is the movements tab that you can expand and have a look at to make decisions, ascertain where the money's gone, any particular trend, or do the limits play a factor? Every time the limits increase, is there a bet on one particular team, which can usually be a tell? And yeah, just the date and time at which this movement was registered. So a really, really useful tool to have that information as quick as that. If we go back up to the alert, we can see add closing alert. Now, as you can imagine, on a weekend particularly, you could have upwards of 50 bets, and trolling through Odds Portal, finding closing lines isn't really efficient. So you can add closing alert, and then when the game kicks off, you will get a closing alert for that bet. So if I add that, that's set. So when this match kicks off on the 2nd at 3 o'clock, I will get an alert just telling me this is what it closed at, and you can log that in your spreadsheet and calculate the value. It's really good practice. But yeah, that's the closing alert. So there is a few commands that I would like to talk about. One is if you just tap the / icon, you will see all these prompts. So you can do start. That's if you needed to start a feed. On this occasion, mine's already active. You can get any help. You can give us any feedback. And you can show the disabled leagues. So when I clicked mute earlier and you could disable an entire league, you can also restore it using this. There's also a command. Mine's not showing because I have it set already, which is mute day. So if you have used the alerts for a while, you will know that particularly in the bigger leagues, alerts that you receive on the day of the game, the softbooks are really quick to adjust that line. It's very rare that you will find opportunities like you would earlier on in the market cycle. But you can do / mute day, and that obviously I had it set. So now I'll receive match day alerts for the leagues that I've set in feed 1. But I always leave / mute day on just because I don't want to be overwhelmed on match day with alerts where I've got no chance of actually getting any value from it. So I always leave that as it is. But yeah, that's just a really, really basic, quick overview. I think experience will teach you more than I can. You will get used to movements, you'll get used to what certain things mean, and basically all this is just information to help guide you into the right bet. So that is that. If you've got any questions, you can always do the feedback prompt. You can message us on Twitter, on Instagram. Everything is on the website that you will need. So that is that. One last thing that I'd like to talk about. I spoke about it briefly in the portal and feed settings video, which is unequal lines. So it's quite easy to understand that we have got the same line, which is just full-time result, and it's very easy to see the EV and the price discrepancy. However, if I move to my smaller leagues feed, things will become slightly blurry. So this one is a perfect one. So we've got George Wilstermann against the strongest in the Bolivian Cup. So as you can see, there has been no expected value calculated on this occasion, and that is because the Pinnacle line and the Bet365 line are different. So it cannot calculate the expected value because the lines aren't the same. So as you can see, George Wilstermann on the minus 0.25 spread have received support to 1.75 from 1.917. However, the main Bet365 spread line is draw no bet. So it will not calculate the EV. What you can do is, if we know that Bet365's line is draw no bet or 0.0 at 1.62, we can click settings and all lines and see what price Pinnacle are for the draw no bet. So if Bet365 are 1.62 for 0.0, let's have a look what Pinnacle are. So Pinnacle for 0.0 Asian handicap are 1.497. So if we round that up and call it 1.50, Bet365 are 1.62. In a lower league like this, with the margin factored, there probably isn't any value. But just to provide an overview on the not equal lines. And if you'll remember back to the portal video, I actually said that you can create a feed specifically to identify only these unequal lines, which is really useful for the lower leagues, because on the big leagues, it's more about the EV on the same line, because it's very rare you'll get line discrepancies, but you'll get price discrepancies. On the lower leagues and basketball, you are likely to get completely different lines as the limits are smaller and people have to cram their money in a certain window like this. So you can set a full feed up just with not equal lines. That's available in the portal. You'll see it down at the bottom when you're setting up your feed. But yeah, same principles apply for the lower leagues feed. Whatever feed you've got, you've still got all the same buttons. You can perform all the same functions. So that's a really quick overview on the alerts, what everything means inside here. And if you've got any questions, you can get them sent over and we will get back to you. So thanks again. Have a good day, and there'll be more from me soon.